Now this is one of those things where you can ask a bunch of different people and they're going to give you a bunch of different answers. I'm going to be using a drill with a 2-inch auger on it. You don't have to use a drill. You can pound a rod in the ground, wallow out a hole. You can get a shovel, dig a hole. It's up to you how you want to do it. It is the fastest with a drill, just so you know. Whenever I am making a dirt hole, if I'm doing the drill method because it kicks up so much dirt, I like to drill the hole first, then I put the trap in. If I'm doing it the other way, if I use a pole, I like to put the trap in, then make the holes. It's just a preference thing. You don't have to do it that way. But so first, pick my location. I like to put mine on an angle, and I'm going to make it deep. I'm going to make it at least as deep as the auger is. So I think I got about 12 inches right there. I'm probably going to go more like 16, 18. So I don't do it straight up and down. I don't do it real far to 45. I kind of do it like that. That's the way that I like to do it. So let's go ahead and drill the hole. And I'll ream it out a bunch because you're going to hit rocks and all sorts of stuff. Oh boy. Well, that did not go as smooth as I wanted it to go. It's full of a lot of rocks, but it does look really natural. Like I said, I like how it kicks up all this dirt. Then what I'll do, I'll go right to this section here and I'll pull it out just like so. And that's where I'm going to want to put my trap. Once again, people have a lot of different preferences on where you should put the trap. I hear a lot of people say 3 inches to the right, 9 inches away from the hole. It's pretty common. People have all sorts of different reasons why. Those kind of things you're going to have to play with to figure out what works best for you. For me, I like to put that pan 3 inches away, right up against it. I like to have it as close to that hole as possible. So based off your trap, depends on the size of the hole you need to dig. Once you do this enough, you're going to get to the point where you're just kind of used to the size hole you need. Very rarely do I have to get in there and fix it up. I kind of just know my size. So I'll take that dirt that I'm digging out, I'll put it into my sifter because I'm going to use that towards the end. Now, also, depending on where your area is or where you're trapping, your kind of weather, depends on these next couple steps on what you're going to do. I'm going to freeze proof this set. Here's how I'm freeze proofing this year. I've been putting trapping antifreeze at the bottom, just sprinkling it down along that dirt, mixing it into that dirt right there. You can buy that at F&T. A lot of different trapping places have that. And I'll sprinkle it down there just so that my trap won't freeze down on these freeze thaw conditions that we get. Then I'm going to take wax sand, dump a little bit of wax sand down in there, not a whole bunch, spread it around. Then I'll plant my trap. I felt like a rock right off the bat. I like to go middle, but sometimes the rocks won't let you. That's a stone. There we go. I was able to bounce off of that one. Got to go deeper than that. All right. Then I like to pound, depending on how your trap is chained, I always pound kind of a little hole right in the middle for my chain to lay down in to get this trap set. Oh, I'm drilling something over there. Trap set. I like to do a check right here at this point to see if there's anything else I need to take out. Maybe a little bit of dirt right there. I like to keep my trap beds pretty tight. That way I don't have a lot of wobble. So when I'm pushing around, things not jumping all over the place. I've been using pillow fill under my pans this year. Take a generous amount. Stick it down in there. Sometimes I'll take my pole to get it all the way under there because I get big fat fingers. Try to get my trap set where I want it. Got it where I want it. Close that jaw again. Then I'll take wax, for me wax sand, and I'll do like a ring around my trap with it. Leaving that pan as exposed as I can. I'll take my hands and start pressing that stuff in. I see a lot of people trying their hardest not to touch that pan. Once you do this enough and you trust your pan tension and your pressure that and how you do it, you shouldn't be too afraid. Now I get it, if it's your first time, I understand why you're afraid. I understand why you're taking your time. Let's get some more wax sand in there. I even see people at this point, they'll use a stick, or I mean, you could, if you're new to trapping and you're not sure yet, you could take a stick and go like that. If you're afraid that that trap's gonna set off on you, just light fingers. And I spread that all around. Now, that wax sand has kind of been sticking out like a sore thumb. So I'll take that regular dirt and put a very thin layer over top just to make it look even and common to the rest of the ground. I'll take that dirt laid out here like it really got dug and thrown out. That's the dirt hole. Now I'll show you how I bait this. Okay, and what I'm gonna do with this when I bait this right now is going to be just the most stereotypical way that you would bait a set. Some people just put straight bait in there. Some people just throw lure down the hole. Some people use bait, lure, urine. That's what we're gonna do today, bait, lure, and urine. So the bait I'm gonna use is Aftershock. Now this is, once again, this is from Sawmill. You can do whatever you want. You can put whatever kind of bait in there you would like, whatever you prefer. Let's see if I can get that. I put a generous amount in this hole. Generous. Now some people will take sheep's wool and put it down in that hole. I normally just like to take the bait and smear it all around the inside. My thought behind this is, when that animal comes, if it gets its nose down in there or even its tongue and gets a taste of it, I want it to have to work to get the rest. So that way I'm leaving it at my set longer. I'll use that same stick or whatever it is that you're using to get some lure. That lure will be Violator 7 from Cavens. Not nearly as much as bait. And I'm going to drop that whole stick down the hole. What I've seen on trail camera a lot of my own sets is a coyote will come and a coyote will grab that stick sometimes and run away. But normally they come back. So sometimes they'll just go for the stick. Now, I have Hot Shot Coyote from Dunlap. It's kind of your preference on when you're going to do this. I'll do it sometimes in 2 spots, and I'll show you the 2 spots I like to do it on. Back of the hole. Oh, shoot, I forgot to open this one up. Pop to make sure it's fresh. Got it. It's fresh. Okay. The back of the hole, I'll squirt some, just like that. And then sometimes I'll go off to the side of it and maybe find a rock or something. So here you go. I'll put a rock right there and give it a little spritz. Just a little bit, not a whole bunch. And that's it.